The World Cup 2014 in Brazil. This is SJ Radio.
England versus Honduras on SJ Radio's official World Cup. Jamie's supposed to be doing it. So Jamie. So what's happening at the moment, Jamie?
People are taking pictures. I don't know why. Why don't you just watch it? Why are you watching it? Oh no! Now the actual anthem is being played. Before we saw was just people taking pictures.
We've got Welbeck really through the game as well. It is all this is all leading up to the World Cup on Thursday. SJ Radio, every single match. Now I don't know if we're going to do that because some of them is on at 1 o'clock, but I might have to bunk school for that. But here we go. So England versus Honduras. There you go. Live from Miami. In the place today, Leonardo DiCaprio, or whatever, is saying that England won't be able to cope with Brazil. He's saying that they're suffering in America. How are they going to deal with Brazil?
Is it that?
No, what's his name? Overstand manager and player. What's his name? Pedro DiCaprio, that's him. Pedro DiCaprio saying that they won't be able to cope with heat. If they can't cope with heat in Miami, Brazil and Rio is like 10 times worse than that. How the hell are they going to cope with that? And he said that, he says that they really will be cooked by the time he arrives in Brazil. What's your thoughts on that?
Like a potato?
Now, Kenny, of course, went to Sunderland. He was on 13 games. He won 3, lost 3, and drew 7 men. Sunderland slagging him off. And now he is fighting for a managing job. Especially he's trying to get to Italy as well.
Managing job, if he keeps, like, dissing the players, is he?
No, he's just speaking his way, saying that how is England going to cope with the pressure of Brazil when they can't deal with Miami, which is a fair point.
Well, I don't know. It's all about the form. I mean, Brazil cannot be on form, England can be on form.
Because all the hot countries are obviously going to be used to that heat, and they're going to be okay playing it. All the cold countries, like us, the USA, all the cold countries won't be able to get that money back. That's why we go to the Premier League in the summer, because it's to offer them.
Well, I think that with all that money they've got, I think they've been on holiday a couple of times. It's not like they're going to dribble one.
Well, you never know. Okay, the official coverage in. We'll be back shortly, he says. I think you seem to be having some difficulties. Some difficulties at the moment, but the World Cup coverage of England versus Honduras.
Right, what would I say? If a pilot from Japan flies a battle plane for America and dies in France, where should the survivor be buried?
I don't know, but I can tell you that England's team is Hart, Johnson, Klaus, Johnson, Gerrard is the captain, Henderson, Rooney, Welbeck, Stones, and Lieber. Holland, Honduras' team is...
Right, Northern Fellas, Brian, Beckless, Victor, Van Duffel, Taylor, Fujimo, and
Basically, just say the name and number.
28, 21.
Oh, you've missed it now, here. So here we go, official World Cup coverage. Yeah, exactly. Okay, James will be back after this game, giving him sponsor if he just shut the whole network down. But even though it doesn't hilarious, it's quarter to 10 on for a long night here. 90 minutes plus play. Just waiting for kickoff to begin here in Miami.
Is the man
Giving you up to date.
the mini Reds are the men in possession.
Just giving you ready from here. Of course, Adrian Charles gives you the half-time highlights and at the end as well. And kickoff is about to begin. I'll see you later, guys. Ta-ta. Hey, keep it begun.
Well, I think reading into what the manager said right before the game, I think Raheem Sterling would start. I really do. He may well still start against Italy. It's an opportunity tonight, probably for Danny Welbeck. Might be the player that would feel the heat from Sterling a little bit more than anyone. Big chance for him if he puts in a real top quality performance.
Bernardo's long forward towards Benson. Cahill into the path of Johnson. Selling Alana short. England's choice of opponent for this game was presumably influenced by drawing Costa Rica in their World Cup group. Honduras are the other main football force in Central America. Two countries separated only by Nicaragua in that part of the world. But Costa Rica do play differently. They'll employ a back three, more likely a back five against England, with two in midfield and three up front. Honduras, as you can see, are very much 4-4-2.
And a very big, powerful looking team as well. Certainly Costley and Benson up front, two big lads, so I'm sure that they'll prove a handful for Jagielka and Cahill. Extremely powerful at the middle of the central defenders. So they're going to be a very physical team to for England to try and manoeuvre today. They've got to keep the ball, keep them moving, keep them working around, keep them guessing.
We may well see England happy to have bouts of possession of this kind. This may have to be the way to cope with the equatorial conditions that they will encounter next weekend and beyond. Hopefully well beyond. Jordan Henderson alongside Steven Gerrard, two of the four Liverpool players in this starting 11. Two from Everton, two from Manchester United, and one apiece from Manchester City, Chelsea and Southampton. Gerrard offering himself and trying to thread it forward towards Wayne Rooney. Came off a Honduran boot. Nice touch from Lallana. Henderson. This is Welbeck. And now Gerrard. Rooney finding some space out wide. Cross is swept away by Manuel Figueroa of Hull City. Roger Espinosa of Wigan Athletic tangling with Rooney. And the clearance eventually by Chavez.
Already you can see there that Roy Hodgson will have no doubt tried to drill into the players. Don't give it away cheaply. When it's hot, that's the golden rule. So when you see Jagielka and Cahill going side to side, it's because they're waiting to try and find Steven Gerrard, someone who's perhaps a little bit more reliable in possession, who they know can find the target when he's got the ball at his feet.
Rooney, that's beautifully laid up to Welbeck. Baines is up in support here too. Welbeck bouncing off the challenges and finding Rooney, and Dan Welbeck with a shot, and that came off by Adares, and it needed Izagirre just to shepherd the ball back.
Good hit.
To a very nervous goalkeeper.
Just took a knock on the top of his foot there, Danny Welbeck, with the follow-through from that strike. It's good play from him, that nice and positive. That's when he's at his best.
Welbeck trying to get involved again. Figueroa intercepted. Forward by Chavez. All touch on by Benson. Well read by Cahill. England made an assured start on Wednesday, and then first attack that Ecuador had, and they were behind.
Sorry, ITV's just having a few technical difficulties. Oh, and we're back on.
Espinosa just ran across him, and it's Glenn Johnson who's been penalised.
Yeah. Roger Espinosa there, recognising Glenn Johnson when he gets in that situation. Always likes to drive infield. He's good at that. Just got to remember to mix it up a little bit. But of course there are players out there, as you mentioned, Clive, the likes of Palacios, Espinosa, Figueroa, even Izaguirre, the left back. Familiar to the England players, so they know a little bit about those guys.
The coach of Honduras, incidentally, is Luis Suarez. No, not him. This is Luis Fernando Suarez, a Colombian who oversaw qualification, having taken the job 3 years ago. Glenn Johnson, who had some nervous moments against Peru last Friday, conceding this corner.
Yeah, he just got caught in two minds there. I think he wanted it initially just to maybe nod that one back to Joe Hart, and then realised he couldn't quite get it. Unfortunately, it just bumps off him for a corner. Now, as you mentioned, England have had a very assured start here. Certainly Honduras have some very big, powerful lads, so they need to deal with this first corner. Make sure they get nice and tight and don't give anything silly away.
Both the centre-backs, Bernardes and Figueroa, are forward. Cahill's header hasn't quite got the job done. Gerrard couldn't clear, but the angle was against Bernardes for the volley.
Always tempting to hit them. Bernardes, big powerful centre-half. Again, at least Gary Cahill gets the first touch, which is important. Then you've got to react off of that. You couldn't get enough on it to get real height and distance, but it comes out to Bernardes.
So it's just buffering again.
To really put that back across the 6-yard box. Went for something a bit more elaborate, and he skied it.
Honduras have lost to both Turkey and Israel in the last week or so, two pre-tournament friendlies played here in the USA. They've only won one of their last 6 internationals. They are 33 in the world rankings. Only 6 of the 32 World Cup finalists are below them in that list. But here's Roger Espinosa finding Carlo Costly. And he's found a cross, which finds the hands, gratefully, of Joe Hart.
Again, that was just Glenn Johnson there, just got caught napping, and it was Roger Espinosa who just caught the game up a little bit quicker. Just onto that loose ball fed Costly, who actually took a little bit too much time to really develop anything. Allowed England to recover.
Palacios, this is Chavez. Bekeles. Chavez trying to step away from Gerrard, and he concedes the free kick.
His initial touch there from Chavez actually got away from him, and it kind of fooled Steven Gerrard a bit. He just got half a yard on it.
Every time I get up, it's like I'm free.
Figueroa put towards Benson. Well seen by Cahill. Johnson's found his man this time.
That's better defending all round that. The ball out from Joe Hart, didn't find his target, but I felt the other night against Ecuador, England just lost their composure a few times in the first 45 minutes as a unit defensively. They looked a little bit ragged. It's nice to see Gary Cahill taking a nice cushion touch and Glenn Johnson just popping it back inside and everybody in tune with what's happening.
Again, it's
The ball is a goal
back
kick.
up every time.
Roy Hodgson did have to field one or two questions about the form of Glenn Johnson after last Friday's game against Peru. He's been the undisputed right back at the last two major tournaments. There aren't an awful lot of options for England in that position in the absence of the injured Kyle Walker.
Again, it is buffering. I don't know what's going on with ITV today, but it's back up.
Another England throw. Gerrard. It's found Welbeck. Trying to squeeze it forward, almost got the ball lost under his feet.
Tough one that. You either hit that first time, take a chance and try and pick it up on the half volley. To actually manoeuvre it and find a little bit of space in there is very difficult for Danny Welbeck.
Rooney, Sturridge and Welbeck all interchanging positions. There is fluidity and variety about England coming forward.
Again, these passes here that Gerrard's given to Glenn Johnson, now back out to Cahill, that's just giving the guys up top just that chance to have a little breather, and then it's recognising the moment when you're ready to come again.
Rooney stepping away from Palacios, linking with Gerrard. Welbeck just took the weight off it for Gerrard, but he was reaching. Welbeck's won it back, and Gerrard has a pop with his swinger, his left foot.
So often seen Steven Gerrard, haven't we, with the right foot, when he settles it down, he can do anything with it. On that occasion, just tried an instinctive one off the left side, not his strongest.
This will run for Sturridge. Welbeck. Henderson. Johnson. Just a little bit too much on it for Danny Welbeck, but Henderson was caught late, so England will have a free kick conceded by Carlo Costley.
Decent driving run from Jordan Henderson. Actually, the final ball had really got away from England, but little trip gives Wayne Rooney or Gerrard a chance. There's some way out. It's what, 30 plus yards probably.
Possibly a little further. It's the second penalty area, isn't it? Must be the best part of 35 yards. Baines has offered himself. Gerrard is there. Rooney looks the favourite. He's certainly giving England every chance here. He's got the ball back a good 10 yards. Wayne Rooney takes, it's on target and comes back off the goalkeeper, and Daniel Sturridge has been flagged offside. Nervous start by the Honduran skipper Noel Valladares, their most experienced and oldest squad member.
Yeah, goalkeeper should be gathering that one, shouldn't he? Sturridge not sure. Certainly the blue shirts were very static as that was taken. Look at the four red shirts that were all looking for something. Maybe Daniel Sturridge wandered just a moment too soon, but certainly the goalkeeper looked a bit awkward, didn't he, the way he went to gather that. And again, that's something you recognise. You want to work there. If he looks one of those keepers where you think he's a bit dodgy and that he doesn't look the safest pair of hands, then test him, keep working him.
Izagiri. Away from Henderson. Lallana got back there, but Izagiri was too strong for him. This is Benson, and that's deflected. It's a good challenge, actually. Goal kick given.
A decent run from Izagiri. Always wants to get full, wants to go and join in. Bundled his way through a couple of challenges there.
That's not such a good pass. Gerrard apologising for it. England got away with it. Roger Espinosa couldn't quite control it.
This was the run from Izagiri, and Costley picked it up immediately, just swivels and looks to hit. He's under pressure, it's his own man unfortunately, but
Bates up to Rooney. Touch was a little heavy. There just seems to be nursing a slight injury at the moment, Wayne Rooney. Chavez. Garrido. Needs to be too much of Bekeles. England squad have been working their way through the gears here. The Premier League season ended nearly 4 weeks ago now. This England squad have been together either in Portugal or at Burton or here in Miami for much of that time. Time to tailor their physical and tactical preparations fully. Lallana almost managed to pluck that out of the air. Izagiri's been caught in possession by Adam Lallana. Rolled into Sturridge with a back heel. It's Wayne Rooney. His first touch just took it away from him. Then the back heel towards Gerrard didn't come off. And Wilson Palacios emerges with the ball. One back by Jordan Henderson. A bit of an electrical storm brewing over the Sun Life Stadium. Ball won by Sturridge.
Is off again. And it's back on again.
I quite like sitting amid.
And it's off again. I might as well just stay here, look. It's off and on and off and on. I apologise for the technical difficulties. And it's back on again.
It made him look very dangerous. They've started nice and steady this evening. Looks a little bit more assured and composed at the back. We'd just like to see a little bit more of that attacking intent from England.
Sturridge bundled over by Garrido. England free kick.
Bit more like that. That's exactly what they want to do. Get Sturridge, Welbeck, Rooney, Lallana in those little pockets. Give them the ball. Get them on the half turn, running at people. That's the strength of this England team. This particular group of players that Roy Hodgson has, you've got to give it to those boys and let them go and inflict a little bit of damage on the opposition. England aren't at their best when they're trying without the ball or having to defend. But when they're going forward, they've got guys that can be a real threat.
Gerrard takes. Just had a bit too much swing on it there. Lallana tried to execute a very difficult volley and got underneath it.
Yeah, keep it there, Adam Lallana. Just get it back on the floor. Give it to Jordan Henderson. He's 2 yards away from him. Again, always very, very tempting. As always afterwards you think, why did I do that? I should have kept it. We keep the pressure on. We keep asking a question of them.
to the club season. He's left out of Hull City's cup final team, having been substituted during the semi-final. Here's Aguirre. Benson coming back to Figueroa. This is Palacios. Figueroa seeking out Chavez, well defended by Baines. Welbeck has just missed out, but he's recovered to dispossess Bekelis. Henderson to Welbeck. Forward towards Daniel Sturridge. He's got support from Lallana. He just couldn't quite tack it past Figueroa, who was the last man there for Honduras.
Nothing wrong with that from England. That's exactly what's required. Sensible ball from Henderson to Welbeck. Again, positive first thought from him. Step inside, take somebody on, and then runners. Then good movement in front of them. It's good play.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of sports international football group and Summer City are pleased to announce that Brazil national team will be returning to Summer City to host Colombia on Friday, September 5th.
Jagielka into Welbeck. Sturridge, I should say. It's run away from him to Bernardes. Chavez up to Costley. Now Espinosa. Cahill's interception was good. Not best pleased, the England manager.
I think he'd be reasonably happy, Clive.
It's better.
Just
think
think he'll feel that when they get good possession, and what I've seen of Honduras so far, they're big and powerful, hard working, but there's an opportunity right now.
Welbeck, Rooney, Danny Welbeck stood over it. It's a chance here for Daniel Sturridge. And a good chance. Just wide of the mark, but an outstanding opportunity for the England number 9 to open the scoring.
Great play, really good play. Love the little step over there. The biggest surprise here is that this guy doesn't hit the target, because usually he does. He's very reliable in that respect, but again, I like that dynamic that this England team have. Once they get in behind the opposition's midfield and put their foot to the floor, they are a dangerous team. They're a dangerous proposition. I'm just very surprised there that Daniel Sturridge, doesn't score, but certainly doesn't hit the target. It's better than that finish, that's for sure.
Goal at his mercy.
You can live with that as a player. You know, you're disappointed you haven't scored there, but
This is a discussion about the weather, and the referee is going to, I think, call the players off because of the
lightning,
electrical storm.
Yep.
Well, this is a first in my experience.
And again it was buffered. Apologies.
Obviously,
And RTV is having some very bad technical difficulties here. It just keeps freezing and buffering. And back on.
just about
Don't
half
think
of
we missed
the
it much.
first half
I
of the
think.
match. We'll become
Half-time.
accustomed to water breaks during the World Cup tournament.
No, it's a water break. Sorry about
That's
that.
the conditions to allow the players to take on fluids, but this is a very different kind of stoppage that we're facing here. This is a precaution taken because of the thunder and lightning that is in the area. I remember you playing in the World Cup finals in the USA in '94, and there's some pretty stormy conditions down in Orlando for the Irish games, weren't there?
Certainly were. Very, very, very similar. You know, day to day, it's been a scorching hot day. It has, but there's always that threat this time of the year here at this part of the world. It can change very, very quickly. Ferociously hot when we arrived at the stadium this afternoon, then just as we approached kick-off. The sun had just hidden itself away for a brief spell, and then followed by thick cloud, and then obviously the threat of thunder, which is a shame for England, because I felt actually at that point they just started to actually look like they could get on top of the Hondurans, but they've just got to regroup. I'm sure Roy Hodgson have a few words for them. Take a little breather.
As the players return to the dressing room and hope to resume within the next half hour, we'll take a short break and then we'll be back with Adrian and the boys. Don't go away, it's not over.
I'm just going to go to a break now.
Continental Tires sponsors ITV's coverage of England.
Birdseye presents The Big Snack, featuring fish fingers.
Hello?
Hi, it's me.
I'm sorry, David can't come to the phone right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep.
Dave, I know you're there. I can hear the football in the background.
Birdseye, the food of life.
This is PlayStation 4, for those that want to experience Watch Dogs on the next generation. For those that are looking for more. Play Watch Dogs on the world's most powerful games console. This is for the players.
If you love football, buy a Freeview HD TV and you'll get this summer's goals, tackles and passes in stunning HD and all subscription free. Love or hate football, go to freeview.co.uk for a chance to win some great prizes.
If you hate football, buy a Freeview HD TV and you won't be stuck for something to watch this summer with up to 10 stunning HD channels, all subscription free. Love or hate football, go to freeview.co.uk for a chance to win some great prizes.
At SpreadX, we believe in giving credit where credit's due. For us and for you. That's why we're one of the few firms to offer credit facilities, meaning our clients can bet without having to first deposit funds. Open a SpreadX account today and get a £100 double the odds bet after placing 5 qualifying fixed odds singles bets. Terms and conditions apply. SpreadX. Trade up.
Honestly, I knew it was time for a change, but I didn't want to spend a lot. So I got this new Windows laptop. It's a proper PC and costs much less than my old one. Runs Office, has a desktop I know, and new stuff like a touchscreen and my favourite apps. So this can go now. But not that.
Honestly, I wanna see you be brave.
ITV Player, the home of your favourite sport. Now available on Windows Phone.
Two worlds collide, rival nations. It's a primitive clash. Winning is a frustration. Bravely we hope against all hope. There is so much at stake. Seems like
We've earned some light refreshment.
There's nothing like the refreshing taste of a cool Foster's Radler, Foster's Lager, cut with cloudy lemon.
guys!
Didn't realise they wanted to play more than 1 point.
Foster's Radler, good call.
Never miss a moment. Watch the World Cup live on ITV Player or catch up on highlights wherever you are. Brace yourself. It's going to be emotional.
Continental Tires sponsors ITV's coverage of England.
here in Miami. England's final warm-up game for the World Cup finals against Honduras has been suspended for half an hour, we believe, due to electrical storm activity in this area. You can maybe see one or two flashes of lightning. Players have been taken to the dressing room, but there's no hint whatsoever that the game
it has been suspended due to a thunderstorm. We have no idea when we will be back. I might as well just keep playing songs. This is a radio station. So let's play some songs. Let's see what we've got. Let's spin the wheel. The Wheel of Fortune. And we shall see when the match starts again, I suppose. Yes, sorry about that again. Oh, this is like David Dresser. Not saying much. Inside, lets me go through. Shoot me down, back it up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, far away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Far away, far away. You shoot me down, but I won't go. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't go. I am titanium. I think it was back on.
Dangerous, really dangerous to watch. And
oh no, they're just doing his moves.
Against, they really are. I'm just surprised that that one in. He's so reliable.
Oh, actually let that.
I'm sure he would be disappointed he didn't hit the target.
This is the problem that we're encountering here.
It shall be suspended 30 minutes.
Storm, which is hopefully over part of southern Florida, but there's been a lot of talk.
Just play
so
this.
far,
I should play it for you.
Change between the England front four.
Yep, indeed. I mean, I think that certainly Sturridge is always going to be the focal point of that attack. But again, what we saw there with that little, the best chance for him was when Rooney peeled out down the right side. He's what he has got, Wayne Rooney, Clive. He's always got the ability to pick his head up and find someone at the right time. He's got that. Maybe not quite as able and as direct with his running as Oxlade-Chamberlain or Raheem Sterling or Danny Welbeck from that position, but what he will do, he will pick his head up and he can find someone with a clever pass.
We've seen periods of play here where England have just been keeping possession. Is that something we're going to have to get used to in the next couple of weeks?
Definitely. You have to recognise when you want to serve the ball forward. You just can't expect Cahill and Jagielka to keep knocking 30-yarders trying to drop it into Welbeck or trying to drop it into Sturridge. They have to keep it, wait till everybody's ready before you look to move forward.
Well, let's get an update on the situation now with Adrian Charles down in the tunnel area.
Yes, we're all taking shelter from the storm here in Miami, the Sunshine State. We've got a fella here who looks as though he's in charge. Just come in if you don't mind, sir. Can you tell us what the situation is now?
Sure. We are 10 minutes into a 30-minute delay due to the weather, and we have lightning strikes within 2 miles of the stadium. So we shall wait 30 minutes and assess the situation then. And if we have to delay further, which I hope that's not the case, we shall do so. It's all for the safety of the players. We want to make sure everybody gets off the pitch safely.
Don't forget the broadcasters as well. I thought we were expendable, but they care enough about us to have brought us in here, which is nice to know. So you look at the situation at 22:11, pardon me, which is UK time, and you will. It doesn't mean we're going to kick off then. That's just when you'll have a look at it.
Correct. It's a minimum of 30-minute delay. And I just took a look at the radar, spoke with the weather people as well, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. So we're going to assess the situation at 30 minutes, and we may delay longer, and we may be good to go.
I know you're a referee and not a weather forecaster, but what tends to be in the way of things this part of the world? Do storms stay or do storms move on?
You know, in this part of the world, they just seem to pop up. They pop up. They can blow up and get worse. They can get rained out. They can just rain themselves out. So we may get the clear after 25 minutes.
You're from California, aren't you? We really should have played it there, and we possibly wouldn't have had this problem then.
That's for sure. We don't have this kind of weather.
Okay. Well, be careful out there. I better go and let you go to wherever you go to assess the weather. But thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you. All the best.
Lovely to see you. Thank you. So what do we make of this, gentlemen? The best laid plans, Glenn?
Well, yes, what can you say? It's interrupted the game, but it's the safety first. You've got to go with the safety first, with not only the players, as you said, you were joking about us, but there's probably 50,000 people in there as well. And it's a very open stadium also. But, the game obviously now will be very difficult to restart when we restart. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will restart. But, it's not one of these things that you're used to as a player, and it's very difficult to keep your concentration.
Well, it's one of those as well. When they come here, man, it's like biblical.
Yeah.
When they set us round the corner. You're
talking about the storms now?
The storm, absolutely. When they come, it's frightening, you know what I mean? So it's the best thing for everybody, really.
It's a shame as well, because England were just starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. They were starting to find some pockets in front of the back four and starting to turn, and Sturridge was making his runs. And I think England started pretty well. I really do. I think they were showing signs that they were all linking up, and it was good signs. And all of a sudden this happened, so they've got to go again if they get a chance to rekindle that fire they had in front of goal, because I think it was just a matter of time before they got a chance to score.
I thought as well, Aid, when we started, it was really slow. I didn't think we got the ball into the front men quick enough. They kind of backed off us, Gavin. We saw that. They backed off us. And I thought we should have just tried to get the ball into those little areas, see if we could get it into Sturridge, get it into Welbeck and get it into Rooney and try and turn them. But it didn't happen. But later, towards the latter stages there, we got it into them.
Where we were sitting, Glenn, it was a charming move, wasn't it? We were right on the edge of the penalty area when we saw that chance.
Yeah, it was a good move. Best move we put together, actually. Yeah, Rooney's first time pass. Welbeck did well, because he didn't get a shout from Sturridge. He just read the situation, let it run across his body, and Sturridge was in. It was a shame. It was on his left foot as well. It was on his favoured foot. He probably just picked Ian, we're looking at it on the screen. He probably just picked the wrong decision. Technically, he should have driven it. If he drives it low and hard, he's tried to side foot it. It's come off the back of his heel a little bit. But for me, I just feel that England, they're playing a 4-4-2, and we've got that three in midfield. And I think Rooney should come and play deeper and outnumber them, and we could be in control of that game so easily. For me, looking at it, they've got two in the centre of midfield, and we're not outnumbering them as we should do. And I think that's something tactically that we'll look at.
The 3 times that we've had decent moves, it's when we've got into that hole, and it's because they've got two in midfield and we've just crept one in between, or Rooney's come short, Lallana's come in off the wing a little bit and he's just picked something up, and Sturridge has done the same. That's the 3 times that we've been at our best.
I felt like we were a bit fearful as well. We didn't want to do that for some reason. People passing it across, and I hate when we do that. I don't think that suits us.
But this takes us back to Poland, doesn't it? That's why you've got that furrowed look on your face. And we need to encourage our colleagues here, Lee, that the key thing you need to do now is talk as slowly as possible, because we could be filling for hours. And Ian, you are a bit quick fire with your...
That's true.
So just slow it right
Absolutely.
down.
I know what you're saying, man.
No, right down, slower than that.
Easier than slower than that. Cool.
So how are England without the ball then? I don't know whether it's just because I'm English. As soon as the ball comes into our half, I can hardly bear to look. Perhaps we're just flapping too much as observers.
We definitely had that the other day against Ecuador. I don't feel the same here, although sometimes you get, because we're down, it's a little bit different for us as well. We're down on the pitch level, and you're picking up the vibe of all the Honduras fans. If they get anywhere in our last third, they think they're going to score, and it sort of feeders into you, and you get that feeling. I don't feel as if today that our goals at threat so far, but it's more, we look a lot tighter as a team with Steven Gerrard and Henderson in front of that back four.
It's funny you should say that, Glenn, because I'm watching it in the truck and it's completely different, because you mentioning that, I'm thinking, I'm trying to remember them getting in, but as you said, the atmosphere makes it look as if they're playing better than I. Glenn Johnson's had a few slip-ups. He started the game poorly, I think. That's their only real chance they've got in, but they look a bit nervous on that right side, but then they seem to be able to cope with it from there. They've not threatened us that much.
I've seen that a few times though. They do that diagonal. They've done it with a diagonal with Ecuador. They seem to feel that's a weakness for us or something, and they're doing it with Glenn as well. There's a gaffer, look. I'm not bad, gaffer.
Right, nice to see you. Yeah, come in here next to...
where you standing?
Have you got your rainwear? Whatever happens, don't erect a brolly. That would be my advice to you, Roy. So we're live now, Roy. Tell us your feelings now. Not a lot you can do about it, obviously, but...
No, it's a surprise, isn't it? I mean, it's also we come across very often, is it, in Europe, and
I've encountered it here in Florida on golf courses where they are very anxious that you don't continue when there's a storm around, and we can only accept and even really appreciate the referee's decision, because he's very concerned about the players' safety, and these storms can be very, very dangerous. So all we can do now, wait out the 30 minutes and see what he tells us after that.
You've got a flight, it's 10 o'clock tonight local time, which is what, sort of 4.5 hours away. Is that flexible? Is that going to affect your preparation? Might you have to spend another night here?
No, I think that won't be a great problem. We've obviously got a slot, and I don't know how easy it will be to get another slot, but it's a private plane, so I would like to think that we'll be okay in that. In those terms, what concerns me more, of course, is if the game, if you go into an hour.
So about that again, it is buffering, but
wait before you think, well, hey, this time it could be another hour if the storm doesn't move on.
Oh, we're ready to play any time. The lads were quite enjoying it out there. I don't think they'll be worried about going back out again. And these are facts of life. These are things that happen to you in life. We haven't actually planned for it, but now we'll get on with it.
But in terms of preparation, you seem remarkably sanguine, and I'm sure I wouldn't want to encourage any wailing and gnashing of teeth over something we can't help. But this is the last game before the World Cup. It's our last chance. How about a bit of despair from you, Roy?
No, sorry. Not prepared to go down the despair route at the moment. I'm still hopeful. Hopeful the game will start again. Hopeful it will, kick on from where we left off. But if it doesn't, then the good thing is that there'll be no more injuries. We'll have got another half.
This is good, positive thinking. This is great, Roy.
Was you happy up to that point, though, Boz? Was you happy with what was going on up until that point?
Yeah, I think we were controlling the game very well. I thought we had a couple of very good chances, following good moves. Obviously, neither team are going at each other hell for leather, but I think that's understandable. We're 1 week away from a World Cup start. We saw Royce injured last night. We lost Oxlade-Chamberlain on Wednesday. I think you've got to accept that in these warm-up matches it will look a bit like this, but I think we've been very much in control.
Do you think that the way they're playing with the 4-4-2 we were just talking about before you came, saying in the start of the game we didn't really get in any of those holes to begin with, and now all of a sudden Rooney's making some runs into there, and we've exploited that. The 3 times we've got in, we've looked really good in that area.
Yeah. Obviously that's what we'd like to do, but they're playing so deep at the moment that it's not easy to find that space. I think as the game opens out, normally in a game like this, when teams have got the 2 banks of 4 and they're very, very tight together, in the early part of the game it isn't so easy to find the space in between the lines. But of course as the game develops and players tire, I think it opens up a little bit more, and I thought we've seen it open up. There's disappointed we didn't score from that wonderful move, because that would have been a really good goal.
It was the best move we put together. It was a lovely little over, wasn't it, from Welbeck? But there's times where their 2 strikers are not, one of them's not dropping in at time. He does it sometimes, but he's reluctant, and you just feel if we can get that 3 in midfield against their 2 and really, really dictate the play, then I think we will open them up. Yeah,
I think we've dictated the play. I just don't know that we've always played fast enough, and sometimes we're a little bit prudent, maybe. We're not forcing the ball through. We're keeping possession, playing wide, looking for the openings. But I'm not too disappointed at the moment about the way we play, but I'm a little bit disappointed we've had to abort it.
Yeah. What are the players doing now?
No, they just. What we said to them is, look, just relax for at least 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get started again. We'll get them together. We'll do another, if you like, a little talk before they go out, and then they have the 10 minutes to warm up. But there's not much we can do.
It's raining incredibly heavily now, and some of the crowd are leaving, probably just taking shelter. I'm sure they'll be back. There must come a time, surely, if we're still waiting an hour from now, where there's a decision made, so we just can't play the rest of this.
It's a risk, agent. I mean, I can't. As I say, it really is a first for me. I've never experienced a situation where a game's been abandoned for this type of stormy weather. I don't know what the referee will decide. Basically, we can only do what we are doing. Wait, listen to what he tells us, and hope, really.
Do you mean in the 75-strong team there's not a meteorologist?
No. I think our preparations are reasonably diligent, but we haven't gone quite that far.
All right, I'm sure we can find one for you. All the best, Roy. Thank you very much. Hope to see you back out there. Thanks a lot. I saw you spoke to the ref, the manager. Who else? The other manager, perhaps. I think it's absolutely it's flooding it down here. Due to the fact we've flooded out, we can't actually see the pictures ourselves from down here. I know you can see them at home. I can hear it absolutely drumming down, and there's people running from the exits, and who can blame them? I'm sure there's some very stoic English and Hondurans just sitting there and just bearing up as the storm comes over. I thought we were all soaking wet anyway. It was so hot. We were like turkeys at Christmas out there. So we can hardly get any wetter now.
Well, the way it was, like I say, it started pretty slowly, and it was one of those where I was thinking, oh, here we go. You know, even the Hondurans starting to catcall us and whistle and that. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we've got to be patient, but at some stage you've got to start getting the ball into people, make them take some charges, turn some people, get some shots off. This is the last game before we get to the real business. You know what I mean? I just want to see a little bit more impetus in us.
I think, guys, that if you look at Lallana when he's on the ball, he's not been sensational yet, but he's calm on the ball. He sees a picture. For me, I'd love to see him and Rooney dovetailing. So Lallana has spells in that pocket just behind Sturridge, and Rooney can do a wide bit, and then Rooney comes in there, and that way you're confusing the defence. They can't just set themselves up against Rooney's going to play in there, Lallana's playing there. I think Welbeck is the one that's coming in. I would say get wide. You've got pace, you've got strength, and if we get the balls in from the other side of the pitch, I want you hitting that back post because of your presence.
I think it's really important that when you play those three, you know, across with Rooney in that hole, and you come in off the sides, I think it's really important that we get somebody, one of the strikers, then going out, because a couple of times we've been in an area where we've sucked everybody in on the edge of the box on this right hand side, and Baines has been sort of reluctant to go then because he's thinking, hang on a minute, I'm the only one on the left side of the pitch. So you have to get somebody running out on that left side as well to help Baines out if they do switch it. Sometimes we get a little bit sort of tunnel vision when we're trying to get that ball in front of the back four, and we don't look a little bit more expansive out to the fullback.
If this was your World Cup now, what kind of spanner in the works would this represent ahead of your last week before the first game?
Yeah, it's not ideal. You'd want to finish this game off and get a good result and a good platform to go and play, and get your shape right, get everything teed up. I think there's probably nine or even 10 players out there that I think will start against Italy in Roy's mind. And I think, you know, to stop now is a problem. Maybe if it stops after 60 minutes, 70 minutes, that's enough. Roy made the point, well, at least we ain't going to get any injuries. Now 70 minutes would have been a really good period of time to get a platform in, get your shape done, and say, well, we got something out of that game. This is disastrous if it stops now.
But a decision's got to be made sooner or later. We've got to say, in 2 hours' time, we can't still be waiting here. Surely we can't still be here talking for the next 2 hours. We're waiting for it to come out. But how long would you leave it and say, look, it's enough, get showered, let's get on the bus and let's head for Brazil?
Well, I think you've got to put a bit of pressure on them. You leave it to the officials because it's safety.
Again, I apologise for the buffering and keep freezing from
probably 15 minutes after and to say, well, enough's enough, we can't do it.
It just, for me, it just feels a little bit like we're damp squiddish, only because, you know, we've come over here for the heat, for the preparation, and not only have we've not really got the heat, a couple of days maybe, but then you get an abandonment in the last game when you're looking at a team that is very close for me to maybe being a team that's going to start, and then for it to stop now, you think to yourself, I don't know, I feel a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit nervous, a little bit like, oh, how the boys going to be once we do get out against Italy.
I think there'd be quite a lot of the players sitting in there thinking, do you know what, let's call it a day, because to go out again, it's not easy to get especially if it goes over half an hour, 45 minutes to go, all right, we've got to go again, because all your levels have dropped down, you know, your adrenaline's dropped down, you've got to get yourself up and going again. But it was also, as we said, this is probably going to be more or less the starting lineup, and they're kind of going, we're done now, we're ready for the World Cup, I'm almost playing.
But the pitch is going to be absolutely sodden as well out there. We should remember that. That's not going to make it easier. They've got Tony Correa, the stadium manager. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much indeed. May I say, you're on live now on ITV Sport. May I say, beautiful stadium. The weather could be better, though. We're not blaming you personally for that. What's the situation as you see it? Presumably you're a local man.
Yes. Well, first of all, let me clear up. I am not the stadium manager. I handle game operations, soccer game operations for the stadium. So
you're our main man. For all intents and purposes, you're our main man. I'm sure the stadium manager himself wouldn't be upset, but anyway.
Share with you my experience. I've lived here for 40 years, and generally, at this time of the year, we do have these types of what we call thunderstorms. And not being a weather expert, but just having lived in the area, generally these cells can last 10 minutes. They can last an hour. It just depends how concentrated the cell is. Right now, we're monitoring the situation. It can go 15, it can go an hour. We just really don't know. What we do know is they generally push through quite rapidly.
So what kind of delay can you accommodate? Can any of us accommodate? Say, could it be an hour from now before the players are playing again?
Well, I think that's strictly up to the referee, and it's the referee's call. I mean, obviously, he's going to make a determination as to where it affects the game, where it affects the players, and where it affects everybody else as far as operations. I don't suspect that it'll be that long, but you never know. It's weather, and anything can happen with weather. We all know that.
What kind of state will the pitch be in? Because playing is going to take on a lot of water in a very short time. You know, it can be treacherous.
This pitch is brilliant. This pitch will drain well. It is always shown to drain well. It's one of the better pitches in the United.
Again, it has buffeted. It's nothing to do with us
in the United States, and so we're
it's back on again
with the pitch.
Generally, what how often does this happen? Is this a rare occurrence so we can curse our luck, or should we have been expecting this almost?
It's the time of year more than, this time of year is what our summer months, and our summer months tend to be rainy, what we call sunny during the day and thunderstorms in the afternoon. So it's not unusual, but we're quite accustomed to it. All the matches that we've had down here, we've incurred it from time to time, but generally this it's just part of our weather patterns down here in South Florida.
It's not a criticism of the stadium, far from it, but there's not much in the way of what you'd call a roof anywhere over it. Is that something you might consider?
Well, apparently it's in the stages. I can't speak for the stadium, obviously, because I'm not in the management side of it, but there are plans for that to happen in the future. We're used to this. It's just it happens. It rains. It comes. It goes, and we just adjust to it. That's the way we have to do it.
The good news, I'm getting words from our people and your people that it is hopeful. We haven't heard a clap of thunder for a while, so if it just stopped now and there wasn't another clap of thunder, how long before we could be out there again? Do you think? We've been off nearly the 30 minutes now.
So what you're saying is everything I said was right.
Yes, absolutely. We never doubted it for a minute.
The referee basically stated that he would give them 10 minutes from the time he made the decision to move forward. And again, I obviously don't want to. I want to make it clear it's strictly the referee's call, and it's a 10-minute warm-up once he's made that call.
Okay. I think we've got. Have you got any idea how many have left the stadium so far and gone home drenched to try and dry out somewhere?
If I wasn't here with you, I'd be able to give you a prediction.
You wouldn't mind just turning down the air conditioning a little bit in here to a slightly cooler setting, because we are expiring. It's not a pretty sight. But Tony, thank you very much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I was going to say, with what we've done with Wimbledon, you're going to cane the geezer for not having a roof, and we've taken 50 years to get a roof on Wimbledon.
You wanted it in 35
We wanted it in 35 minutes to build a canopy or something.
I mean, baseball as a summer sport here, it plays through the storm season, so here and in Tampa, the baseball stadia have got roofs over them. But I mean, this is a much bigger affair, isn't it?
Yeah, but you say that, but we can't fill it. Why don't we just go to the other one, especially with the roof on it? We can't get to actually do what the boys wanted to do and play the games with the sun. Like, we didn't get the sun, we've now got the rain. At least you want to do is finish the game. Should have played it under one of them with the roof on it.
Okay. If we have to fill for a long time, we'll get into a really deep debate about roofs and Wimbledon and all that.
Yeah.
Let's keep our powder dry on that. Thanks for raising it, Ian. Let's talk about what's going through the players' minds then. Lee, Glenn, was saying that the players probably want to just get showered and go. What would your feeling on that be?
I think if it goes any longer, I think this is we're in the next 5 minutes of a cut-off time for a player. I think you can reinstate yourself a little bit now and get your mind focused. It's not the norm, but it's a test for you. You have to look at it. Everything has to be looked at in a positive way. If I have to go out there again and perform, then in many ways, whatever the result is immaterial now. You just got to get good performances.
You actually start like. If I'm sitting in there now, I'm starting to think, okay, I've got to warm up again. You start actually thinking about maybe injuries and am I going to overstretch something? Have I been sitting around too long? Am I going to warm up again? Because they're going to have to go out, like you say, with a pitch. It might be a bit more sodden. I know it was pretty hard when we went on it.
Firm, yeah.
But, it's one of those, you start thinking that, and then you start thinking that, you bring it on yourself.
But you've got to, that's what I'm saying, Ian. More than ever, you have to think positive in there. You've got to be prepared mentally now that you're going to play.
Yeah.
There's none of this, are we playing, are we not? Mentally, I'm playing until I'm told I'm not.
Yeah. That's easier said than done, though. We've been in a situation. Were you playing when we played at Wimbledon and the lights went out?
Yes.
And we came off and we were only off for about 15-20 minutes, so it wasn't too bad. Maybe half an hour. But you're sort of in the dressing room and you saw everyone's going around going, yeah, we're definitely going out, but we might not. It's a slightly different. You're going into a World Cup, and I think the players in there now, I think a lot of them will be thinking, don't want to go out anymore, but as you're right, you've got to try and stay positive. But I think deep down they don't want to go out because they've got this far and they don't want to get injured, and they kind of like, there's almost an excuse, if you like, to say, do you know what, let's just knock it on the head and let's go back to the hotel.
How did you play when the lights were out?
One of my best games.
I'll tell you what, though, if there is a storm interruption in Manaus, then that the narrative will be that this was a stroke of genius coming in with a bit of practice.
That's a very good point. Let's in the jungle, with the humidity and the heat that builds up and the crossover, you could actually go through this experience. We hope not, for sure.
That's so unlike you to be positive.
All we're going to do, positive, negative. We've got all night here, Lee. We can explore every facet of our characters. By the grace of God, we did do an item earlier when you three picked your England 11s for the game against Italy. Now, I hope you can remember exactly what they are, Glenn, because we can't actually see them down here because we don't have a monitor. But your 11, why have you gone for that? Now you've got controversial Lampard and Gerrard.
I've gone for experience and to fill in that for this first game. Lampard and Gerrard playing square of each other and Rooney just in front. I think that game needs to be dictated in the centre of the park. If we put our experience in there and win it, Frank's been playing in that deep role for Chelsea all season anyway, and that's really the major change for me. And I went with Welbeck and definitely Lallana on the left-hand side with Rooney and dovetailing. I would allow them to come in. I want Lallana coming in, and the next minute Rooney's in behind the hole. So they would be able to fluctuate on the right-hand side a little bit more, sort of give us width, Welbeck, and arrive in the box as a threat round the back. But for me, Manaus is about the last 20 minutes. I think in the last 20 minutes is where the game's going to be won or lost, and I think that's when our young
people are constantly defensive. His defensive midfield, and he maybe could come across and help him a bit more. But then I would have gone with, if the Ox was playing, I would have gone with the Ox and Lallana up there. What's up, Gaffer? You gonna get in?
We're asked, obviously Ox isn't going to play.
No, I'm just saying, if he was, I would have had him instead of maybe Danny Welbeck. I will go with Welbeck. I will go with Lallana and Sturridge up front.
I mean, I can tell you it is now 10 minutes to kick off. Glad tidings indeed. So we will be getting on with it, done with it very shortly. There's still time for your team, though, Dicko. We haven't forgotten you. So here's the Lee Dixon 11 for Italy.
I'm a bit surprised, I guess. I just want us to have some pace in the side, and that's why I've gone for Sterling on the right-hand side with Lallana on the left. Rooney in his favourite position, I think, with Sturridge up front. And I just think that back force, protected by Henderson and Gerrard, will be solid enough. But I just want to, this World Cup, I want us to be positive. I want us to, whatever round we get to or however far we get, I want us to come out and go, we really had a go. And that means getting behind teams, and whether that's the first game or the last game. I just believe that we should have a go, and with Sterling, I think he's the threat.
Would you say the way we started? Would you be happy with the way we started today?
No, I think we started really slowly today. I think we did. We didn't have any pace. We were a bit sloppy. They got everybody behind the ball, and I think it was a slow start. But we got into our game. We started to get into those holes. We still, for me, need that threat over the top. If teams are just going to sit there, you've got to suck them onto you and then hit the space behind. Whether you get space behind against Italy remains to be seen.
I'm amazed you're such an adventurer, so cavalier as well to start with. Still, rather I'm a doer defender, if you don't mind me saying so.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm a changed man.
Yeah. So you risk him out there, even against Italy, when a draw will do. And I
honestly think Sterling would frighten the life out of him. He's one of the few players we've got with that blistering pace who can scare players and defenders. And as good as they are at the back with that Italian defending, if you like, I think he would scare them to death.
I think actually the point you're making is the one that I'm saying. In the last 20 minutes, when they'll be dead on there, if they want the likes of Pirlo at his age to continue, then I tell you what, I think there'll be open spaces for people like Sterling to really.
Well, glad tidings there. We can see Joe Hart getting used to the somewhat greasier conditions now, and we got plenty of the England players. The rest of the team are making their way out of the tunnel now, as you can see. So maybe we can get words to any fans who have left the stadium to make their way back in. If you're watching from home, in fact, and you know somebody who's here, then just send them a text or something, tell them to return, because we are going to get the rest of this match. Played after all. I mean, as they're warming up out there, I mean, you got to refocus again, haven't you? In terms of the pattern and play, but it would be just a wrong, wouldn't it, if somebody was to go and get injured now?
Well, there's something that could happen. It could happen, but what you want to do is, like the Gav was saying there, you just want to be positive. You've got to be in a positive frame of mind. And like he said as well, is that while they were in there, they would have been saying, listen, we are going to be going out and playing. They would not at any stage be thinking that they're not going to go out and play this game until it's actually done, that they wouldn't have to do it. So the boys will be positive, and you just hope now and keep your fingers crossed that they do not get any injuries, and they go for it and they play well and no one gets injured.
Here's a big moment. Let's see if Clive and Andy have survived the lightning break. Are you there?
We are, and the rain is a lot lighter than it was just 5 minutes or so ago. So in terms of the condition of the pitch, which the players were purring about earlier in the week when they first trained on this surface, then I don't think that's going to be an issue. Andy, you've been in situations, obviously, in your latter years of your career, where perhaps even during a half-time break, muscles stiffen up and so on. This warm-up now that Gary Neville and Chris Neville, who's no relation, are taking, this is absolutely vital, isn't it?
Well, it is. And I feel for probably Steven Gerrard more than any of the other England players, because as you do get older, as you are the more experienced guys, it's when you get going in a game, you start to feel okay, and then half-time comes along, and then that 15-minute break can leave you just stiffening up a wee bit for the opening period of the second half. So for him, he has to in particular make sure he's very thorough with his warm-up here and make sure that he's absolutely ready to go.
Let's get the latest from the match referee, Ricardo Salazar, who's talking with Gabriel Clark.
Well, the latest is the game's back on, correct?
The game's back on in a matter of 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
The weather's cleared.
It's rained itself out at this point.
I saw you in the radar room around the corner. Just describe what you were doing in there.
Making sure that the rain has finished, it's cleared itself out of the pitch. They are all ready to join in.
As long as
back on the beach,
we're going to continue to play.
Well done. Looks like we've got a game on. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some big names, big players have been ruled out of the World Cup in the last couple of days. Franck Ribéry of France, Marco Reus of Germany, the latest injury casualties, the latest in a famous line: Falcao, Montalivo, Van der Vaart, Gundogan. 3 or 4 very strong contenders for the England squad. They still have their fingers crossed for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and there are continuing doubts over Ronaldo, Suarez, Van Persie and others who are in the squads. It really could be the last men standing in Rio on July the 13th. It's a trial of endurance, or maybe Hondurance tonight.
Yeah, indeed. That's a shame when you get a lot of those top players that unfortunately won't be able to take part, and that's unfortunately part and parcel of the business that we're in. But for those that are there, I'm sure we're still going to see a lot of top-class football. I'm really looking forward to this World Cup, Clive. I think it'll be the best one we've had for some time. I still think there's enough quality on show from a number of teams to make it an event worth remembering.
Roy Hodgson has had a little bit of time with his players just to perhaps emphasise one or two of those points that he was racing with the boys in our interview a little bit earlier, but he'll be mindful too of the demands of the English club season. English club football has provided far and away the largest number of players of any of the 51 leagues represented in the various World Cup squads. 22 of this 23-man England squad played their football in the Premier League, and it's an exacting season, and we have seen it in major tournaments before. But for those of you just joining us, the problem here this evening has not been fatigue. It's a break of now over 40 minutes because of electrical storm activity in this area. We had some pretty pronounced thunder and lightning, and with just over 22 minutes of football played, the American referee Ricardo Salazar decided to bring the players off the field. They're going to be back in action as soon as they're warmed up. Back in action now and back in their position, I'm glad to say, are Lee Dixon, Ian Wright and Glenn Hoddle with Adrian Charles.
Yeah, because it's have a last word from you, Glenn, what you want to see now with this peculiarly resumed game?
Well, I think the pitch might be a bit quicker, actually. I think that's one of the things we need to do, is move the ball a little bit sharper into midfield. As I say, there's a 3v2 if they keep their two in there, and I don't really feel that we've overloaded it enough. But if we can pass a little bit sharper, and obviously we haven't created too much. There was one lovely chance that Sturridge had, great opportunity for him, but I would think if we come out of this game, we need to have had 2, 3, 4 real good chances. If we put one or two of them away, we'll win the game.
I'm not too fussed now. I just want that the boys don't get injured. I just like to just play a little bit quicker tempo, get a couple of chances and that. But now, ideally, I just think just everybody could get off safely now for me.
I think they start the second bit of this game like they finished, because that was the time when they were starting to get into those little holes. They started a bit sluggish. I'd probably start a bit sluggish now because it's difficult to get going, but leading towards half time, that's when they can really unleash.
That's the problem. They're just going to get going again, and at the end of the day they're going to have to come off for half time again, so that's another problem.
Okay, we're just off to find ourselves a dry cleaner and a laundry to get completely new outfits, and then we'll speak to you at half time. In the meantime, back to Clive and Andy.
Thumbs up from the referee. The England players are just completing their orchestrated warm-up under the watchful eye of Gary Neville and Tony Strudwick, who looks after the conditioning. The referee's got a very precise around about this time next week that England's game against Italy in Manaus will start. We're going to restart here with the goal kick, which resulted from the best opportunity that England, indeed, or Honduras have created in the match so far, and Daniel Sturridge screwed a shot wide. So I hope that you've been able to stay with us. Everybody back to their stations. I think we've had enough of the music, and the game will resume with Honduras goal kick taken by Noel Valladares. It's easy to see how quickly the game resumes the kind of pace and tempo that it had established.
Yeah, it's going to take them 5 minutes or so, isn't it, to get going again and to get a feel of the ball and just to feel that they're ready to start going at full throttle once more. What it has afforded is Roy Hodgson the luxury of being able to tell his players, listen, this team are there for the taking if you play quicker and take a bit more care.
Free kick was given there for the foul on Lallana. England had a good advantage situation developing. Rooney, voted by Espinosa. This is Benson. Zaguirre is just a little concerned about Roger Espinosa, who's down holding his left ankle. Important player for Honduras, the Wigan man. He was the earlier foul by Wilson Palacios of Stoke on Adam Lallana. He's okay, but I think it's just a question of tying up those very extravagant boots.
If you move the ball quickly around Wilson Palacios, then he'll struggle. Then I think that's an area Glenn mentioned there, that they get the 3-on-2. It's a way forward for England, but just need to do that.
Mistake by Lallana, and it's poked goalwards by Benson. And that's that kind of individual error which can be punished and which can turn a game at this level. Well, the level England are moving up to next week, certainly. Sturridge caught one there.
Again, it was just a long ball up, wasn't it, that Costley sort of got underneath. And from there, he just slept a little bit. England weren't really sure exactly who was attacking the ball, looking to pick that up. Just there, that ball bounces. All of a sudden, there's just a little bit of confusion, not quite together. And half a chance presented.
And Sturridge is moving rather gingerly here. There's nothing to do with the conditions. He took a nasty rap for which England have been awarded a free kick. You can see there's a weakness in his ankle now. He's feeling the pain.
Yeah.
And they won't take any chances at all with anybody. 6 substitutions aside are permitted. Gerrard, and that was a high boot by Garrido.
That is.
There's a card coming out here for Luis Garrido.
Yeah, that was naughty, that one. Quite rightly, the referee brandishes the yellow for that. He was late getting onto that, Garrido. His foot looked high to me. Yep.
A bit of a lunge with the leading foot too, didn't he, as he trying to make the challenge. Sturridge is trying to run off that injury, trotting around on the edge of the penalty area as the free kick is taken quickly, but with a moving ball. Referee just completing his paperwork. Sturridge. Johnson. England had 4 red shirts in the box there. Johnson hasn't been able to find any of them.
Yeah, I think they're just the wrong option from Glenn Johnson. Just put it in there. Knock it in the box. He's looking for a cute little pass to drag people away from that 6-yard box area, but every now and again, nothing wrong with just putting it in there.
Hope for one forward by Zagiri. Watched very carefully by Phil Jagielka. Baines under pressure from Chavez, has been caught in possession. Well won by Steven Gerrard. Danny Welbeck trying to help out. Joe Hart can let that drift wide.
Yeah, not really sure about that ball that Joe Hart threw out to Leighton Baines there. I don't think he was really on, he was really ready for it. It wasn't big enough for him. And Steven Gerrard in the end does well there to nick that one off Martin Chavez.
Nobody's quite got started since the interruption to play. England's flow has been broken and they're making mistakes. Jagielka's given the ball away. Palacios into the path of Bekeles. The ways by Cahill. One by Henderson. Here's Sturridge, who seems to be moving well again now. Drawn away from Palacios. He was looking for Lallana. It is only a corner.
Lucky. That's exactly what I mean about Wilson Palacios. You want to try and get round you, intimidate you, but if you're quick enough, bright enough, you'll go past him very, very easily, as Sturridge did there. Just couldn't find the last pass.
He's involved a little bit more on the marquees of Stoke last season, but he hasn't played a lot of club football for the last 3.5 years now, Wilson Palacios.
Sorry about this again. Oh, and it keeps freezing. Keeps freezing. It's gone away!
Deep towards the head of Lallana, forced away by Espinosa. This is Gerrard. Tucked into the path of Baines to try to pick across, but Benson was quickly across to him, and now Leighton Baines is down.
Yeah, he just caught him there actually as Leighton Baines tried to stand that one up. Benson it is who catches him.
Two rather clumsy Honduran challenges since the restart.
Absolutely. It's because they've all of a sudden now they've drawn breath and they're able to just get a little bit closer and a little bit tighter. Yeah, look, ones like that can just catch you on the top of your ankle, top of your foot. That's exactly what you don't need.
Baines will take the corner himself though. And away by Palacios. Gerrard. Way that Rooney was making a run, trying to angle it into Sturridge, but Izagirre came between them. Sturridge now brought down by Izagirre, who then has a kick with the ball on the ground, maybe caught Sturridge too. It's a yellow card for the Celtic left back.
Did well not to react there actually, Sturridge. That's disrespectful, that is, when one thing's every now and again you in the blood and thunder of a game you get challenges happen. Look, he clearly fouls Sturridge, and I think there to volley the ball at him from close range like that, I tell you, he's a lucky boy. I tell you what, Sturridge has done well there to keep his cool, believe you me, because I think that's cheap and nasty from Izagirre, and I'd have been very tempted there, I tell you.
Only a yellow card. Can England exact proper retribution? It's Gerrard. It's just a little too high for Jagielka. Rooney has retrieved the ball. Jordan Henderson with the shot. Gerrard to Lallana, lovely turn. Sturridge has it stolen from him by Izagirre, who's come back for more. Cahill just misjudged that. Honduras throw. Izagirre. Espinosa. It's well defended by Lallana. Advantage played. It's a bit tight between Henderson and Rooney.
That's where he may have been better off there, just going back to Glenn Johnson, just settling things down and starting again.
Michaelis towards the head of Benson. Espinosa trying to keep the move alive, and he was caught there and fouled. Free kick now to Honduras. Henderson and Lallana went for the same ball. Not sure there was any malice there.
Certainly Espinosa's really gone and thrown himself at that. I think in the end it looks like Henderson tried to put the brakes on a little bit as he recognises he's never getting there. He can't stop in time. I understand why the free kick's given. So this is the first situation really for Joe Hart. to get his wall organised and to make sure they deal with this.
Big Nuno Bernardes. Looks like he might give this a smash, number 5. 23 is Marvin Chavez. It is Chavez. He got it up and over the wall, but couldn't get it to come down quickly enough to trouble Joe Hart.
Yeah. I think the goalkeeper's position was one where even if it was under the bar, he'd have got that, he'd have dealt with that, he'd have got something on it. But the break is certainly more beneficial for Honduras, that's for sure. It allows them, as I said earlier, to regroup, to just draw breath again so they can get a bit tighter, because they're just an honest bunch of players. 4-4-2, very solid looking formation. They just want to get close to England, they want to intimidate them, unsettle them. And that break's definitely allowed them to do that.
That's where it's having the game. And he's back up again.
Hart calmly into the path of Baines. Free kick has been given for handball. Henderson fight into Rooney. Just managed to kill that. Gerrard getting up to Costley.
It's got to be a better ball that from Jordan Henderson into Rooney. It's the right idea, he's looking for him of course, but got to give him a chance.
Figueroa. Espinosa. Johnson got back there, and Roger Espinosa just caught Glenn Johnson. Two worrying collisions and challenges for Roy Hodgson since the restart. Another trip. Sturridge's little flick, just not quite finding Henderson.
And again, it's frozen. And it's back up again. Didn't take that long, which is good.
Lallana working it tight with Sturridge. Now Johnson has gone on. England throw. Henderson tiptoeing into the penalty area. Dealt with by Wilson Palacios.
Again, but luckily it doesn't take that long, so it shouldn't be that long. And it's up again. Doesn't take that long.
It's good work from Jordan Henderson. That's where he's invaluable, when he can, obviously we know, running forward, and when he's trying to support the front men, he can get across the ground quickly, but you've also got that in his locker, that when he needs to get back and recover for Steven Gerrard in between the two centre halves, he did it very well there.
And frozen again. Connection's not really good here on our TV player.
Gerrard dispossessing Espinosa. This is Lallana. Baines is on the way forward.
Feet.
Couldn't quite step away from the second challenge, but Henderson has found Rooney. Johnson to Sturridge. And now Henderson. That's a well-timed challenge by Manuel Figueroa. Just got the ball, I think.
I just think Jordan Henderson got caught in two minds there, maybe about just returning the compliment to Daniel Sturridge. I think if he'd have immediately latched onto that, he could have gone past that challenge of Figueroa. Just wasn't quite sure.
Again, Monty's really poor on our TV here. We need to sort this out.
Tell you where the defence was. By the time he turned around, he'd just given him a chance to make that challenge.
But England are finding the kind of momentum now that they were establishing just before the weather break. It's a clear pull of Welbeck's shirt by Paolo Costly. At St Andrews 5 years ago, he was part of Alex McLeish's promotion squad in 2009, but his opportunities were limited by the likes of Kevin Phillips and Cameron Jerome and Marcus Bent at the time. He's had a pretty nomadic club career.
And again, I keep putting the mic switch, keep pushing it up to turn it off, and it's down.
The line again there, that's useful because he can go left or right, it's not a problem to him. Can handle it whichever way it comes to him. Good spot again from Henderson, love that first time ball. And there he just a little flick and he just gets it onto his left foot, and they're the sort of ones every now and again that squeeze their way into the corner.
Keeper did pretty well in the end. Corner towards the head of Cahill. He got up in front of Jagielka, who may have been better placed.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good leap there, Phil Jagielka.
Loose from Cahill.
That's that one when you're just trying to force it, when you're desperate to try and work an overload on the far side. Again, Jagielka and Cahill keep it nice and simple. Keep feeding those guys in front of them. Let them do it.
Garrido forced it forward, but only as far as Welbeck, who just couldn't quite link up with Rooney. England are winning the ball inside the Honduran half of the field quite regularly. Chavez trying to get forward. Gerrard doing his duty. Chavez find a way past Baines and Welbeck. There's another late challenge there by Chavez on Baines. Well, that came at Jagielka with a little bit more on it than he wanted. No foul. Shot by Wilson Palacios. Dragged wide.
It was a fiery ball back from Wayne Rooney, wasn't it, to Jagielka? And again, that's not where he's comfortable. It's not what he's best at. Giving him something like that, he always looked a bit awkward trying to step forward. He may well have been impeded, but you don't always get what you feel you need. And from there on, Wilson Palacios takes a chance. Gary Cahill gets the block.
He's Aguirre with a free kick, and the corner kick with Joe Hart got underneath a little bit.
Yeah.
Jagielka had to deal with.
Never getting that, Joe Hart. He's always struggling with that one. See, his first thought was, I want to come and put something on it. It's good work in the end behind him from Jagielka.
Oh, again, I really apologise for this.
close, but the angle was against him.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery actually. Shove as it was. They've got some big powerful centre halves that have made a 40-50 yard run. They deserve a little bit more than that, a little bit better than that.
Honduras kick off the day after England, a week tomorrow in Porto Alegre down in the south, where it should be a little cooler. Henderson to Rooney. Johnson to Sturridge. Just a little careless. Contact from Hart. Lallana down to Gerrard. Here's Adam Lallana. Tackled by Palacios, but Gerrard finds Baines. Welbeck trying to accelerate, seen off by careless. Well, the end of the longest first half I think I've ever seen. There was a 40-minute delay midway through it when a storm moved in. England had just worked up a head of steam prior to the interruption. They were beginning to do so again in the closing stages of a goalless first half. More views from Lee Dixon, Ian Wright and Glenn Hoddle in just a moment. At half time in Miami, it's Honduras 0, England 0.
Continental Tires sponsors ITV's coverage of England.
I hack the city to make him my weapon. My enemies may run Chicago, but I control it.
Take a quick break now. For half hour, so that we shall
weapon includes
back
exclusive
after
gameplay.
these few adverts.
If you love football, buy a Freeview HD TV and you'll get this summer's goals, tackles and passes in stunning HD and all subscription free. Love or hate football, go to freeview.co.uk for a chance to win some great prizes.
If you hate football, buy a Freeview HD TV and you won't be stuck for something to watch this summer with up to 10 stunning HD channels. All subscription free. Love or hate football, go to freeview.co.uk for a chance to win some great prizes.
Me and you just singing on the train. Me and you listening to the rain. Me and you, we are the same. Me and you have all the fame we need. Indeed, you and me are we. Me and you singing in the park. Me and you, we're waiting for the dark we need. Indeed, me and you are we.
For total confidence, yes, you need the right defense.
Give me 5.
Right Guard Total Defense 5, the 5-in-1 deodorant protection for long-lasting freshness. Total Defense 5 from Right Guard. Start your day right. Now half price at Tesco.
Honestly, I knew it was time for a change, but I didn't want to spend a lot. So I got this new Windows laptop. It's a proper PC and costs much less than my old one. Runs Office, has a desktop I know, and new stuff like a touch screen and my favourite apps. So this can go now. But not that.
Honestly, I wanna see you be brave.
ITV Player, the home of your favourite sport. Now available on Windows Phone.
It could be England, it could be France, it could be Bosnia.
Scan your bud for the chance to win tickets to the 2014 FIFA World Cup final.
Enjoying the adverts, it's freezing. I don't know what's up with our TV. I really
Coverage of
don't.
England.
Welcome back to Miami, where it's a stormy old night overhead and unnecessarily stormy perhaps on the pitch. Quite some rough and tumble here, no quarter asked or given. I think I'm fair in saying it's the Hondurans giving it out more than taking it, but England have got rather better since the rain delay, but it's some rough stuff going on right in front of us here.
Yeah, we know that. They get a bit physical. I believe they last year when they played here against Brazil that happened. But no, Roy will be pleased since the restart. I mean, the pitch, as we said, because there's been a bit of water on it after the downpour, we are playing a lot quicker and we look brighter. We still haven't got round the back enough for me. That's the next port of call in the last third for the World Cup. I think Roy will be and the staff will be working at ways of getting in behind these defensive. But certainly with possession in midfield and Henderson and Gerrard now and Rooney dictating the play a little bit more. But I still think there's a lot of hard work still to be done before we look a real threat for this World Cup.
I think for Sturridge, it's good preparation for playing Uruguay, isn't it? Because they're really giving him some stick, but he's done well.
Yeah, he's done well and he's played pretty. He's looked pretty sharp. I think if he did get that chance just before with the lightning and everything, I think that he would have kicked on even more. I do feel that he can even tighten himself up a little bit more, just get the ball away and get the 1-2s going. But he looks sharp. You know what I mean? He's making good movement across the line. And like even there, you know what I mean, they're catching him a couple of times. I think there's one was coming up. I think he goes down here. This is where he shows some nice pace and skills and strength and everything. And then he's tried to just knock it inside the outside of his foot, gets a corner off of that. But he's being positive. This is just like, I can't believe this. How's he not sent him off for that?
That's a red card for me. He's done ever so well not to react to that, because he stood up quite easily for him to just push the player and get a red card himself. So, but he should have been red carded for that.
If he'd stayed down, I think the player would have gone off actually. But
well, I think that he's done pretty well to not make a big meal out of it. But at the same time, that's a red card in the World Cup, I think.
What about the tempo England have played at Leeds? They've been pressing all the way up, and it's still a hot old night here.
I think there's been some good stuff when we've had the ball. I think Gerrard's got some space, and I think when he's got space, he can have space. If you've got no runners behind, you're in big trouble. And I think we've done that well today. I think whenever he's got the ball, he's in a position there, he's got space, and he can hit this ball. We're all quite narrow because that frees up Johnson. Now all of a sudden, we've got Lallana, we've got Sturridge in space. Look, that's where you want them. And when you get there, you turn and you run at them. All of a sudden, 3 players running into the box. That's good play from England. It's a long ball, good movement, wins a free kick. This is the break. And watch the movement between Sturridge and Welbeck and Rooney. They get away, and their movement off the ball, they interchange their positions, and in the end, we talked about it at the false break, if you like. Perhaps should do a little better. But this is the long ball. This is what Gerrard can do, and Rooney already knows, and that's what you need, runners into the space. He moves Welbeck, good positioning, and he's on his back. And in the end, that's not a great ball, but they nearly get in behind the back four, as Glenn was talking about.
That's what Steve does for Liverpool, doesn't he? And that's the position he picks off and picks people up. You've got to have movement up there. For Liverpool, he's got 2 up front sometimes. He's only got the 1 that's more difficult, so you can't lose it. But for me, Lallana's the man for us. If we've got to get more ball into Lallana. If we get the ball into Lallana, everything, he hasn't been dictating the play, but every time he gets the ball, he plays forward. Yeah. He looks round the corner, he's got a little bit of a guile, a bit of a skill, technique, and he's playing forward and gets us through the pitch quickly, because then they get in behind them lines.
I can see Wilshere and Barkley warming up over your shoulders quite intensely. Might it be an idea to give them a run or just switch things around a bit?
I like the look of Barkley more than anything else, because he will get it, and we saw the other day against Ecuador, he will get it and run at the midfield and try and break their lines that way. Maybe we could get some 1-2s going. I'm not sure with Jack, to be honest, what more Jack's going to do than Henderson or Gerrard's doing now.
We'll be back shortly before the second half. Here's your opportunity to win a trip to Brazil and watch the World Cup final.
Listen up, because this is your chance to get to the World Cup final. Courtesy of Continental, we're giving you the chance to win 4 tickets to the World Cup final in Brazil on Sunday the 13th of July, plus £10,000 in cash. We'll fly you and 3 mates to Brazil for an amazing sporting experience. You'll be put up for 2 nights in Rio with accommodation and get to soak up some real World Cup flavour. For your chance to win the ultimate football experience, just text the word FINAL to 65554. Text costs £1.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. You can also enter for free at the website. Entrance must be 18 or over. All entry routes close at 5 p.m. on the 11th of June 2014, and the winner will be contacted later that day. Entries made after this time will not be counted but may still be charged. Good luck.
Going for another break now. We shall be back after these few adverts.
Your mouth has a lot to tackle during the FIFA World Cup, causing millions of germs to build up. So give it some support. Give it the power of Listerine. Listerine kills up to 97% of the germs that brushing misses. Germs that may cause plaque, gum disease and cavities. So don't just brush. Discover the power of Listerine. And to help your squad clean where brushing misses, try Listerine Smart Rinse.
This is just a little summer with all the typical drama.
Shh, it's just a little samba.
This is just a little summer.
Flow faster with Visa on mobile, online and contactless.
At Spreadex, we believe in giving credit where credit's due. For us and for you. That's why we're one of the few firms to offer credit facilities, meaning our clients can bet without having to first deposit funds. Open a Spreadex account today and get a £100 double the odds bet after placing 5 qualifying fixed odds singles bets. Terms and conditions apply. Spreadex. Trade up.
You nervous, Kev?
Not really. Sure, it's going to be a roller coaster ride, but I reckon we can nick it. We just need to sit tight, early doors, not do anything silly.
What are you on?
4G from EE, the biggest, fastest, most reliable network. So I can watch England's games in more places than ever. Like here.
I'm closing my eyes for this bit.
Very wise. They've got a free kick on the edge of our box. The biggest, fastest, most reliable network.
And talk of all the things we did today, while we have a few minutes to breathe. But darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute. If you trouble for the great relief of having you to talk to.
Carlsberg Fan Squad.
England's journey here, full of highs and lows. Advertising good here. Finds his man. Nice interplay by England. That is a lovely touch. Penalty, surely. The referee waits play on.
Árbitro, que eso es tiro mano.
He's changed his mind. No! Now that calls for a Carlsberg.
shall be back shortly. Oh, then here we are. We're back again. I think. Oh, no, it's buffering again. Come on, iPhone. There you go.
World-class kickabout for a world-class cause. Soccer Aid, tomorrow from 6 on ITV.
Continental Tires sponsors ITV's coverage of England.
I know you've had a bit of weather at home today. We've had some here. There was a rain and storm delay of getting on for 3/4 of an hour. So the good news is you only just got in. You still get to see the end of this game. English spirits undimmed, and he's under shelter, so not a hair is out of place from Mr. Beckham. England 0, Honduras 0. What are we going to expect from the second half after the rain delay? Came back feistier than ever. Are we going to see more of the same now?
Yeah, similar. I think we'll have possession of the ball. I think Wilshere will come on now. I think there's slight change at half-time possibly, and him and Henderson, the two youngsters in the centre midfield, are going to have to run the show for us.
What do you make of Barkley for Gerrard, Lee?
Well, I mean, obviously we like Steven Gerrard, but it's obviously precautionary. He's done his work. He's now going to rest. I like Barkley. I think the more games he plays, the better he's going to get. It's all about his final decision for me. He gets into positions. It's that final pass that he just needs to work on, and that comes with playing.
What if he's got? Do you think he's got? I'm just thinking, why would he not go off in that break? He had that long break, and why would he not go after? So it's just worrying. Hopefully, Steve Gerrard's okay.
And we've seen Wilshere on as well. Not quite sure who he's come on for at this stage. What do you think? What do you think the thinking is there?
Well, I think again, Wilshere certainly needs some games time, and so the fact that he's had a couple of knocks, like we know, he's now in a position where he's got to get that fitness levels up, and then you see the best of Wilshere.
I think Rooney's come off, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's go back to Andy and Clive.
Just to confirm, Ross Barkley and Jack Wilshere on, Wayne Rooney and Steven Gerrard off. For Honduras, number 19 Luis Garrido in midfield has been replaced by the former Hibernian player Jorge Claros. Nicknamed Pitbull, his hardman reputation comes from an incident in 2011 when he survived a grazing gunshot wound to the head during a carjacking in the Honduran capital and drove himself to hospital after the incident. I think he's probably a man to be respected. Number 20, Jorge Claros. Barkley's lost the ball quickly. Jagielka won it back. But if the pass had been better, Ross Barkley could have been made to pay for that slip.
Yeah, have to be very careful there. Ross Barkley's keen to get involved and get on the ball. Do that stuff a little bit further forward. You all of a sudden find yourself the deepest midfield player. You've got to take good care of that ball.
Johnson into Sturridge, up away by Bernardes. Roy Hodgson was quick to calm the fever of praise which came Barkley's way here on Wednesday after he was generally considered man of the match in the game against Ecuador. I think the manager said that he still had a lot to learn, and for every good turn there was a time when he lost the ball, and every mistake can be crucial. And his first turn tonight resulted in such a mistake. Baines to Welbeck. Here is Barkley. Wilshere. That's what Ross Barkley can do. That's a brilliant shot. Curled just wide. No question that the talent is immense.
Oh, love that. That's where you want to get him. Brilliant stuff, that. Lovely little 1-2, and I like the shape on the strike. You know exactly what he's trying to do. All right, in the end it's a couple of yards wide. He's trying to wrap his foot around that and really bring that one back in, curl it in. Yep, doesn't quite get the whip on it, but lovely little 1-2.
And in the same breath as Roy Hodgson offered those words of caution about Barkley, he did say he will become the complete midfield player. Baines. He's picked out Barkley. Henderson. Johnson to Lallana. Fight into Sturridge, difficult one to control and gather. Chavez caught in possession. Welbeck showed a little bit too much of that to Claros. He's managed to retrieve it, and here's Barkley, took that in his stride and was taken out by Bernardes. Third yellow card that Honduras have seen in this game already.
It's that same turn, isn't it, that Ross Barkley showed against Ecuador. He turns away from people so easily there. Bernardes clumsy, quite rightly getting the yellow card.
Sturridge, Henderson, Wilshere to Cahill, Jagielka to Baines, here's Barkley, Welbeck just beyond Wilshere, possibly finding a way out to Chavez. Baines has been penalised. Honduran players circling the referee and trying to get Leighton Baines booked. He didn't think it was even a foul.
This one there, Leighton Baines is actually running back and Chavez kind of steps across to protect the ball. And of course, when you do that, you put your leg right in the front of the opponent who's going to hit it.
Good trick too there.
Exactly.
Good acceleration, just running away from two opponents and taking on Bernardes too, taking on a bit too much. Okay,
lucky. Yeah, good initial work from Danny Welbeck. Just that decision then, if you're going to release it or you are going to go all the way on your own.
He's got tournament experience. He started all 4 games at the European Championship finals 2 years ago. We'll be mindful of that. May well be important for England to draw on all the relatively limited experience of tournament football they have in the weeks ahead. It was a pretty meaty challenge by Bekales. Welbeck caught. May have got a bit of the ball first, but it's another yellow card. It was a dangerous challenge. And the worrying challenges these for Roy Hodgson. That's happened right in front of the England manager.
Again. He's lunging in from some distance, isn't he? It's just the momentum, it is the follow-through, but I'm afraid that is irrelevant. You've got to be very, very careful making those lungy challenges because you can endanger the safety of an opponent. Quite rightly, that's why he gets the yellow card.
That's why Raheem Sterling got the red card here on Wednesday. There's just no control in the challenge.
Sterling got some of the ball, Clive. Bekales there gets nothing.
Johnson, Sturridge, Henderson fed into Glenn Johnson, with a run for Lallana, and now Wilshere will turn by Barkley, almost ran for Welbeck. It's good stuff this, Danny Welbeck, Leighton Baines, well defended by Mino Figueroa.
It's unlucky, it's good play from England. If someone could have just towed that one out to Leighton Baines a fraction earlier. You kind of just had to wait for that little ball from Danny Welbeck, which just took the momentum out of his run, but good play from England in a very tight area on the edge of the box.
Baines with a corner. Punch isn't the most convincing. Down goes Henderson, throw in given.
Again, we do apologise for this keep stopping, but we are trying our best. It's not us, it is ITV but it seems to be back up now.
Substitution of Rooney, you have to put into context the fact he has started the last two internationals, had over an hour last Friday, and then over an hour again here on Wednesday, so he's had plenty of football after his layoff at the end of last season. Gerrard's older legs will be protected. Was bowled over off the ball there by Chavez. Henderson.
Well played, Jordan Henderson. That's it, keep it. He's trying to get forward, he's trying to look to make something happen, but afraid to go back.
Build up from England. Barkley. Sturridge took it in his stride. Daniel Sturridge trying to chip it to the corner of the goal. He had Baines overlapping. It was an audacious effort from Sturridge. We've seen him score goals like that for his club last season.
Again, I think that's one if you've already got one in your back pocket, if he scored the one already in the first half, then maybe you can have a go at that one again. I'd like to see him put his head down there and maybe just hit that. That's the confidence of Daniel Sturridge. Can't knock that. He's always prepared to try something. Good play again from Barkley, wasn't it? Got into a good area, turned very sharp on the ball, immediately fed Sturridge.
And a much the better team. It's a risky ball from Bernardes, but it found its target. Chavez into the path of Bekeles. Jagielka calmly back to Hart. Breakdown in communication between Johnston and Cahill. England do have some of those moments. Pick by Izagirre. Bekeles. Good work from Danny Welbeck. That's part of his job on this left-hand side. Sturridge with a little back heel. Wilshere takes it in his stride. Barkley's on the move ahead of him. Here goes Ross Barkley. Well found by Jack Wilshere. That's a terrific tackle from Izagirre. He had to get that right on a yellow card.
Certainly did. Was a good challenge. Great break from England, started with good honest work from Danny Welbeck. Lovely run from Jack Wilshere and Ross Barkley. I thought for a minute there the second he'd already towed that past Izagirre, but it was a very good challenge in the end. But lovely run. Just that touch there. He knew he was coming. He was just waiting for him to commit. Just didn't touch it hard enough.
Roy Hodgson made a point of stressing in his press conference yesterday these World Cup games are going to be 14-man games for all teams. So the South American teams will find that hot weather a difficulty, and one or two of these younger England players who've really emerged in the last year may be of more value coming from the bench in the last half hour when others have tired than starting the matches.
Maybe. It's a big decision for Roy Hodgson this week, it really is, because I don't think Italy are that special. I really don't. Of course they're a team to be respected, but to be really feared and to worry about blooding some of these good young England players, I'm not so sure, Clive. I'm really not. Uruguay again, I've been seeing them, very hard working, course, they've got some special players up top. England's back four will have to be on their guard, but nothing to fear in front of them. So it's just about whether or not Roy Hodgson sees an opportunity for some of these young players and whether they're going to be given the nod, going to be given a licence to really go and have a go at Italy and Uruguay. For me, I think they can beat them, I really do, if they're positive.
Barkley to Wilshere. Henderson to Lallana. Lotsos in the way. Welbeck. Lallana tried to gather it in. Danny Welbeck's shot was saved. Might still come for Adam Lallana. Leighton Baines. Honduras have a man down. Barkley's playing on. I think it was a stop by the goalkeeper. It was a great chance for Welbeck.
Certainly was. Again, good football. It's very tight in there. It's hard to get that right because very little room. Danny Welbeck in the end does well to stab that one. Goalkeeper smothers it with his chest.
Good finish, actually, wasn't it? Post finish.
What England have got to do, Clive, is when they're having these sort of spells, when they are on top, when they are dominant, they've got to find a way through. They've got to open a door. He knows that. He knows exactly that because you are going to have to weather a storm or two yourself. You are going to have to take pressure and cope at the back, and that's not England's strongest point. So when they're dominant in matches, when they're going forward, they've got to have somebody who can find a way through. They're getting close.
The England squad will head down to Rio tonight. The hotel is on the beach, so is their training centre, a military camp at the foot of the Sugarloaf Mountain. It's another 8.5-hour flight tonight for them, but the time difference between Florida and Brazil is only 1 hour, so they should acclimatise pretty quickly. But the flight from Rio back up to Manaus for the first game is another 4 hours. It's
again, I do apologise for the frequent delays, but they don't last that long.
It's coming World Cup finals.
Back in again.
Those long flights will be a fact of life for the squads. So off comes Chavez. On in his place comes Andy Nahar, who's quite a highly rated young winger who plays his club football for Anderlecht, helped them to finish third in the Belgian league last year. He's 21 years of age, Andy Nahar. Kind of challenge, I think, for Leighton Baines, more attack-minded player. This is Costly. Searching ball towards Espinosa, well read by Johnson, and then Espinosa was caught by Lallana.
It's happened again. They do not like how long it's really good.
It's a yellow card for Adam Lallana. Rather feel that the Honduran players taught the referee in that.
Yeah, well, because he's brandished 3 cards already, hasn't he, towards Honduras. I don't even think Lallana even touches Espinosa there, does he? Sort of almost pulls himself back out of the way of that.
Nahar's offering to take this, but I think the Bananas might be the favourite. It's hit by Bananas, and it stayed here. I don't think it went very close to the goal, but he thumped it.
He certainly hit it hard, didn't he? This is a better angle, we'll see how close it was. No, it didn't come back at all, did it? He's hit that so hard, he's just literally fired straight through that one. Lovely strike.
Sturridge to Wilshere. Barkley's really settled into the game since that early lapse in concentration. Wilshere. Lallana, it's run off it by Izagiri. It's a bit of a coming together then between Espinosa and Lallana. To watch his step.
Yeah. Just got ball caught between his feet there a little bit, Adam Lallana. And Espinosa's that type, isn't he? He's that type of player. He's very dogged. He'll keep on working in and around you, and if you do happen to dangle a leg when you're on a yellow card, you can know the consequences, so he's got to be careful.
Ball from Wilshere to Lallana and a good layoff too to Henderson. Now Sturridge. They're going to pass the ball very well at times. Sturridge to Johnson. Did just foul Claros.
Just wanted that little bit quicker, Glenn Johnson. Daniel Sturridge. He's useful there, right back when he gets it. Seen him hit plenty for his club on his left side, and a few of them have ended up going in the back of the net as well. He can be dangerous there, Glenn Johnson.
Benson just run into Jagielka. Was caught on the top of the head there by the leaping Bekales. And that's the second yellow, I think, for the right back. He's off.
His arm's up there right across the side of Leighton Baines' face. It's such a silly one because he doesn't need to throw himself in at that, but yeah, that's naughty.
That might be a red on its own.
Yeah, well done, the referee.
It was a chip ball. It wasn't the best of passes really for Baines, who was giving away a few inches in reach to Bekales, who just couldn't help himself but attack it. But the way he attacked it was reckless.
And if you're on a yellow card, then you've got to make a decision pretty quickly whether you fancy you're going to get there, or will you just stand your ground. You just hold it. You don't need to commit to that. He's walking off field feeling a bit sorry for himself and thinking he's unlucky. Daft.
He's still inside his own penalty area, and players resume. In fact, England are being called back. Bekales is being invited to leave us a little more quickly.
Good chance this for England now. Really good chance. I mean, obviously they'll adjust their formation. They've been 4-4-2 pretty much all night long. So it looks like Costi's going to go up the middle. Espinosa will go one side. Benson out here on the right. But now England have to be sharp. They have to take care in possession. Good first touch, move it about quickly, and someone should always be on the opposite side.
Johnson unable to offload the cross. Aha, the dashing young winger has gone to right back, which is a shame for him.
Two or three passes, Clive, in the middle of the park. Then if you can switch the ball, you've got an overload. You should have a 2-on-1 situation. It can happen. So now we want to see his team play with a bit of intelligence, play smart now. They've had to be careful at times because they are a physical team, Honduras. Now we want to see him play clever, play smart, move the ball quickly, seize the opportunity they've now got.
Good exercise this, because they may well face this at some stage during the World Cup finals, playing with the extra man. Henderson fed through to Lallana. Oh, he almost had that. under his spell. So adept at those pirouette turns as he controls the ball.
Yeah, great run. Again, he almost looked like he was going to flick it with the outside of his boot to Daniel Sturridge. Love that run there. He's almost going to flick it. Took it himself. Just got away from him. Very unlucky. Good ball as well.
Such a graceful player, Adam Lallana. Espinosa first to the ball, but he ran away from him. He thought he was fouled by Cahill. Carlo Costly is going to make way here for number 12, Eder Delgado, who was a later addition to the squad. Costly, who packed the game in a couple of years ago and decided to spend 6 months just hanging out with friends here in Miami. Luis Suarez got very angry with him, accused of him playing with fat guys on the beach. And Costly the next day posted a picture of himself on the beach on Twitter, and that he said, "Meet the fat guys." Didn't seem too bothered. He's back in the fold now. I have to say, after a few days here, 6 months on the beach in Miami, just kind of appealed to me. And I have the build for that very football. Here's Welbeck into the path of Baines. Squirted into Wilshere to strike, and Sturridge couldn't quite make anything of it. Well, Cahill knew the ball was there to be attacked. He came over the top of Benson, who's been penalised. It's a yellow card for Gary Cahill, but he jumped with his hands down. No, maybe not. That's maybe a fair call.
Again, I don't know, Gary Cahill's keen to try and win the ball back for his team and keep the pressure on, but that one there, you can just let Benson head that one on. There's no one behind him. Anytime you give them, or any opportunity you give them now to break the game up, slow it down, take the sting out of it, they're going to do that, of course.
Lallana. Espinosa got back to him. Henderson penalised.
I think as well, England need to get Barkley back in the game. When he first come on, he got involved in the game, he was bright. Made a few things happen for his team. Just the last 10 minutes, hasn't seen so much of it. So for Henderson and Wilshere there.
Again, it has frozen, but it should be sorted out pretty quickly when it does. Here we go.
Aguirre will take this side. It's a poor ball from Naha. He'll be disappointed to have been moved back. Henderson. Wilshere. To Johnson. Wilshere. Welbeck. Baines. And trying to make the extra man play, trying to pull Honduras about. Sturridge has protected the ball well there. Welbeck. Henderson. Johnson making a late burst into the penalty area, trying to make the extra man. Way only as far as Lallana. Wilshere slipped into Barkley. Wilshere, maybe a pass too many. Anderson has won it back fairly though. Benson's the man down. This is Sturridge. Wilshere, Barkley.
That's
now
it.
Johnson. Crossed it towards Sturridge. Well, he's had two chances, one in each half, which you really would expect Daniel Sturridge to bury, and that was probably a better one.
Great
than the one he hooked wide in the first half.
Much better, Clive. That's what you do when you're a man to the good. Couple of tight passes, then somebody should be on the other side. There's a decent ball in. Yeah, he's got to be doing better there. He's got to be scoring. I think he's leapt well enough there to get over that, keep that down, and get himself a goal. Could have easily have had a couple this evening, Daniel Sturridge.
There will be formal water breaks during the really hot games at the World Cup finals. The opening game is this Thursday evening, this coming Thursday evening, live on ITV. The opening ceremony followed by the host country Brazil against Croatia. Thursday it all begins 7 o'clock here on ITV, and I can announce that ITV and BBC have between them secured the rights to broadcast the next two World Cup finals after this coming one. You'll see both the World Cup finals of 2018 and 2022 live, free to air on ITV and BBC. We're going to see number 9, Jerry Palacios, and he looks rather like a familiar figure of Wilson Palacios to you. Yep, they're brothers. 2 of 4 brothers who have played for Honduras at international level. And Fraser Forster's going to have a taste of international experience in Joe Hart's stead. Hart has given the captain's armband, which he inherited from Stephen Gerrard at half-time, now to Phil Jagielka. And on comes Fraser Forster for his second cap. He played against Chile last November at Wembley. A strapping Celtic goalkeeper.
He's got the sun in his eyes as well. Something else to contend with, but Joe Hart hasn't had a tremendous amount to do, obviously, particularly since Honduras have gone down to 10.
The result is secondary in so many ways, but England have deserved a victory from this game. They've been the superior side. Just got to try and claim that victory now. Barkley having to be careful against Palacios, who bit back at him and conceded the free kick. Roy Hodgson getting more and more concerned by some of these challenges.
Yeah, again, just got to be a little bit careful there, Ross Barkley. Look, he's trying to just pop it through his legs or knock it round him. Just be a little bit careful.
Wilshere into Welbeck, crosses from Baines. Wilson Palacios to his brother. Maybe Baines caught Wilson Palacios there. He's down holding his right leg. The yellow card's been shown to Baines. I'm not sure how much of that the referee saw.
Did he catch his toe or not? I don't know. Only he does there. I mean, Leighton Baines is stretching out trying to block it. If he did catch him.
Really sorry about this, folks. It's happened again. It doesn't last that long, and this one should be over in just a bit. Here we go.
If he did catch him, Clive, they can't be sore, those. You often see that, people leaving a little bit of a foot on a player as you knock one away or knock one up the line.
Lambert is getting ready to come on too. Just bundling into Jagielka and being penalised. A free kick has already been given. You're right back. Who will Lambert replace? Will be Danny Welbeck. Scored a cracking goal here on Wednesday. Ricky Lambert, his 6th international appearance now. Fresh from the excitement of a move to his boyhood club, Liverpool.
Ross Barkley has drifted out towards the left, whether that's just for this little passage of play. Ricky Lambert has gone up the middle. Sturridge has just dropped into the pocket a little bit.
Here is Barkley. Henderson. Lambert. Lallana. Now Johnson. Unable to find a telling cross. We're actually playing pretty much 4-4-2 now. Barkley. Henderson.
You have a little bit of room and you think, yeah, I'll have a shot from distance. In many ways it's always better to try and keep it and just shift it about and look for an opportunity, look for an opening a little bit closer. Danny Sturridge has had 3 good opportunities this evening. He'll know that if he was in the red shirt of Liverpool, he's got to take one of those, and certainly in international football you might only get one. You might get one good chance during a game, and you need to get it. You've got to take it. If you want to progress throughout the competition, you've got to start knocking 1 or 2 of those in.
Sturridge just won a throw in, which has been rather wasted. Palacios into the path of Nahar. Stepped away from Wilshere. Support from Izagiri. Borrell's gone on the overlap. Izagiri. Drives it in towards Palacios. The ball just runs away from Jerry Palacios. There were 3 Palacios.
Apologies for the delay. Gary does kill 3-1. But it doesn't take that long to start back up again, hopefully. Hopefully. Oh. Just bit longer than usual.
Those brothers in
There he is.
Honduras squad for the last World Cup.
And it's gone back off again. I'm really sorry for this. It does keep freezing. Apologies.
For Jordan Henderson.
Here it is with him again.
Let's get going this evening, Jordan Henderson. I thought he did quite well tonight. Positive whenever he got the ball, looking to try and find Lallana and Rooney.
Jordan Henderson and has been swapped with Frank Lampard.
To be given an opportunity to work the goalkeeper.
Cap number 105 for Frank Lampard, still for a few days anyway, of Chelsea. Honduras and Costa Rica, who are in England's group, are the two dominant sides in Central America. Honduras have actually won their last two games against Costa Rica, so if this is any kind of a guide to the strength of opponent that England will face, I don't think there's anything too much to worry about from what we've seen of Central American international football this evening. They'll have Brian Ruiz Fulham and Joel Campbell, the Arsenal player who's on loan in Greek football up front. Maybe a little bit more threat in that area, and they'll play fight with the back against England. Lampard. Johnson. Interesting tactical challenges, not quite sure how the Italians will line up. Uruguay are very much a 4-4-2 team. Wilshere ran into trouble. Izagirre. Shot struck Cahill. From Jagielka. Naha. Delgado to Palacios. Came off Jagielka. Claros has given it away. We'll see another change. One Wigan Athletic player for another. Juan Carlos Garcia, number 6, who hasn't broken through since joining Wigan last summer. Will take the place of the experienced Roger Espinosa. Is a left back by trade. Lampard head into Barkley, just allowed it to run away from him. Come back work on Lallana. Johnson to Barkley. Quite bring it down. Lampard's done well to retrieve it. Lallana. Now Sturridge. in doubt, keep the ball. Lampard. Baines.
It just keeps on happening. Our TV needs to sort this stuff out.
There you go. A little bit quick, didn't he, to Ricky Lambert there, Gary Cahill. You're right.
The goalkeeper saved it, that's all that's happened.
Been difficult second half because it's become stop-start, lots of changes and moments when players are hitting the floor and it's breaking the game up. I'm a little bit disappointed the way England have manipulated the ball, I think, against 10. It's one thing that Royals, I'm sure, after the game is going to say to the players, you've got to do better than that. If you get a chance against 10 men, then you've got to try and shift them and move them about. They haven't really done that, but it's been another good workout, another good test against a very workmanlike outfit. Nothing special about Honduras, of course, but they've had good chances, England. One of those you would normally feel would end up in the back of the net, and they'd be coming away with a victory.
Lampard, Sturridge. Baines rolled up to Barkley. Lampard. Jack Wilshere had to watch himself and ran away from him, and here's Izagirre. Unable to beat his Celtic teammate Fraser Forster. Izagirre to sign a new contract with the club. He should know better than anybody how difficult Forster is to beat from there. Barkley slipped into the path of Jack Wilshere. He's knocked it square to Lallana. Goalkeeper did just enough. But England have had sights of the Honduran goal.
Just wanted that touch, Clive, from Jack Wilshere to just draw that back a little bit for Adam Lallana. Just doesn't quite get enough on it. I think as well, the fact that Adam Lallana's on a yellow card, he probably was a little bit wary there about lunging in with the goalkeeper. Good play again, Ross Barkley, picking it up and just spotting that run from Wilshere.
Izagirre. Tackled by Lampard. The ball from Wilshere. Good gather too from Daniel Sturridge. Still able to find a cross.
A little bit too much on it at times tonight, Daniel Sturridge, but no problem with him missing chances. It's all about being a centre forward. I think some of his other plays just perhaps delayed it a little bit too much. He just could have moved it a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper.
Mario Martinez is going to relieve Emilio Izagirre for these closing stages. That's been frustrating for England, and Sturridge got something sprayed on him, I think, there. Oh, it was a drink thrown. The England fans in that little section there. Good ball from Wilshere. Here's Barkley.
1 minute extra time.
Well timed by Wilson Palacios. He's given that away though. Wilshere's won it back. Baines slid into Lambert. Now Lampard. Bernard has attacked the ball well. Well, to England, bruises to nurse on that long flight down to Rio tonight. Wilshere. Stolen from him though. Delgado. Martinez. Try to slip it in here. There's almost a chance for Nahar. Gary Cahill has seen off the danger. Wilshere. That's a nice flick from Barkley into the path of Lampard. Instant pass, well seen by Figueroa, and he's gone for goal. From how far? Good score from inside his own half, wasn't he, Minor Figueroa? Was well inside his own half. Barkley. Shots deflected and has all the power taken off it for Valladares.
I must give Honduras credit because they've been down to 10 and they've been exhausted actually for the last 20 minutes, but they've hung in there and kept going.
Baines with the cross, and Valladares with the stop. Might just have been the last opportunity for England to steal a victory. Pluses and minuses?
Yeah, look, you know, there have been moments, again, seen some good play from one or two, but in international football you get the chances that Daniel Sturridge has had this evening. One or two of them have got to go in. They have to go in to make the difference. I think in the main England have looked much more assured and composed at the back. Of course, second half with all the changes and the earlier disruption with the electrical storm made it a strange evening.
Flags up. Mahar will be dragged back. So 2 draws for England on their stop-off in Miami en route to the World Cup finals. They dominated long periods of tonight's game against Honduras. Again disrupted by a long stoppage for an electrical storm midway through the first half. England appear to have come through without any further injuries. It's difficult to know if anybody other than the starting 11 has done enough to force their way into Roy Hodgson's plans for next Saturday night in Manaus. Raheem Sterling would still be a contender, having sat this out through suspension. England will go to the finals, officially the 10th best team in international football. Maybe a realistic assessment of their chances of making an impact on the World Cup finals, but as always, it will be fun finding out. We'll be back with you on Thursday evening, live from Sao Paulo for the opening night of the World Cup. Plenty more still to come from here with Glenn Hodgson.
See you later, and goodbye.